The whole world watches as the Alabama-Amazon union drive moves to its culminating vote. Meanwhile, Amazon workers across Italy strike against crushing conditions. And here in New York City, I joined graduate students at Columbia University as they enter their second week on strike. Where workers' stories are front and center, this is On the Picket Line. The whole world is watching Bessemer, Alabama, where the union drive at an Amazon warehouse will reach its dramatic conclusion with the vote ending on Monday, March 29th. The nearly 6,000 workers at the BHM1 facility could be the first workers to win a union in the entire U.S. at the notoriously anti-union trillion-dollar corporation. The union has scored high-profile support from a wide range of national political figures, from Bernie Sanders to President Biden to even Marco Rubio. And last week, a broad coalition of labor groups and community organizations organized over 45 solidarity actions across the country. For its part, Amazon is paying anti-union consultants a total of $10,000 a day and has inundated its employees with anti-union messages on and off the job and forced them into mandatory meetings urging them to vote no. Management at the Bessemer facility has been accused of placing a ballot drop box outside the warehouse front door, which the National Labor Relations Board called illegal. As the second largest private sector employer in the nation, with a workforce of about 3 million people, a union victory at even one Amazon facility could have a ripple effect. It's reported that Amazon employees in cities including Baltimore, New Orleans, Portland, and more are currently taking the first steps to begin union campaigns at their workplaces. So, are Amazon's aggressive and pricey union-busting tactics losing their bite? And are workers losing their fear? We'll have at least a partial answer after March 29th. Amazon workers in the U.S. are not alone in their fight to demand better conditions. On Monday, unionized Amazon warehouse and delivery workers in Italy went on a 24-hour strike after a breakdown in negotiations with Amazon and a firm that represents delivery companies. 3 trade union organizations representing the workers said it's the first national strike to affect Amazon's entire operations across Italy. But it might not be the last. E-commerce in Italy has soared by a record 31%. This huge rise in demand has pushed unions to demand strict rules on workloads and shifts for drivers, who they say deliver upwards of 200 parcels a day. The General Secretary of the FIT-CISL said 75% of Amazon workers in Italy participated in the strike, while the corporation claims it was only 10%. While Amazon workers in Europe largely belong to unions, helping them negotiate better pay and benefits, workers in several parts of the European Union say conditions during the pandemic have left them no choice except to struggle and strike. 3,000 graduate students at Columbia University have entered their second week on strike for a fair contract agreement. Members of the Graduate Workers of Columbia Union began an indefinite strike on March 15th after 2 years of failed negotiations with the university administration. The student workers are demanding a contract including improved wages and healthcare benefits, job protections, fee and tuition waivers, and without a no-strike clause, all of which the administration has rejected throughout 65 bargaining sessions. Despite the administration's liberal reputation, it took years of organizing and a Supreme Court ruling to get the university to even recognize the Graduate Workers Union. And they've now brought the same spirit of obstructionism into the contract battle. I joined the picket line at Columbia's campus in Harlem to speak with union members and those joining in solidarity.
We are the union. A little bit louder. We're out here fighting for.
The university does not recognize all the labor that goes into our work and only pays us less than $30,000 a year after taxes, which is ridiculous considering the city we live in and the fact that President Bollinger makes $4.6 million a year, and they justify that price because we live in New York City, but they don't justify the same for their graduate students.
I don't understand what the issue is. Why will they not pay people more money? Do they not? Is the endowment not large enough? Do they not have access to any more donors? What's going on? And it seems like the university is just using shady tactics and intimidation, like it always does with all of its students and members and faculty, to keep it that way, which is absurd.
So it's actually been 7 years since we first started trying to form our union. We had a union vote about that long ago, and it took all the way until 2018 before we were able to start the negotiation process, because Columbia University refused to recognize our union and appealed it to the National Labor Relations Board. And when we won that, they still refused to bargain with us. We had to go on strike in 2018 to get them to come to the bargaining table. And now it's been over 2 years of bargaining, and we still don't have an agreement on our first contract, so we're on strike again.
Last year, at the beginning of the pandemic, student workers at UC Santa Barbara were also on strike, and that was a really powerful moment. NYU actually this week is voting whether they want to go on strike for the same reasons against their university as we are here. So it's definitely a really powerful time, and I think what happens here, what happens at NYU, what happens at other universities and other places of business is gonna set a precedent for the rights of workers and this fight against capitalism.